So now let's talk about the fourth ventricle. Okay, actually this question is given by our university, West Bengal University of Health Science in 2007. 7 marks question, like essay type questions. Describe the fourth ventricle with proper diagram. Okay, so now, so in this scenario, I'm going to talk about each and every detail of fourth ventricle. Okay, not only the floor, also other details and its chronicles on fourth ventricle. Okay, so first of all, the fourth ventricle. Okay, so the fourth ventricle, it is also called the calamitous scriptorius. Okay, calamitous scriptorius, that means what? That means this is nothing but the fourth ventricle. It looks like the nip of fountain pen. Okay, so this is generally the nip of fountain pen. This look like that. Okay, so the nip of fountain pen is look like this. Your fourth ventricle of brain, the fourth ventricle of brain, it also looks like your nip of fountain pen. That's why this is also called your calamitous scriptorius. Calamitous scriptorius. All right, so now let's talk about the fourth ventricle. Okay, so first of all, your fourth ventricle, your fourth ventricle, so it has one roof. It has one roof. Okay, one floor and lateral wall. Okay, and lateral walls. So fourth ventricle, it has one roof, floor and lateral walls. Okay, so first I wanna show you some diagrams. So here you can see, yes, this one. Actually this is the cross section of the fourth ventricle. Okay, so here you can see this diagram. In this diagram, here you can see in this diagram, this is your superior cerebellar peduncle. Okay, your cerebellum is attached or bounded with or attached with your brainstem via three peduncles: two superior cerebellar peduncles, two middle cerebellar peduncles, and two inferior cerebellar peduncles. All right, so in superior cerebellar peduncles, you can see here the superior cerebellar peduncle, and there is this side also one superior cerebellar peduncle. I am writing SCP for superior cerebellar peduncle. And this superior cerebellar peduncle is actually forming the upper part. This is the upper portion. You can see here, this is the upper portion of your fourth ventricle, this one, and this is the lower half of your fourth ventricle. Actually your fourth ventricle is formed within, your fourth ventricle is nothing but a cavity, CSF filled cavity within the pons and medulla. Okay, within the pons and medulla, you can see this upper part, this upper portion I am highlighting with marking with red, this upper portion. Okay, so you can see this upper portion, this one I am highlighting with yellow. This is nothing but the pons. Okay, which part of pons? This is the lower part of pons. Okay, and this portion I am marking with the light blue. This is your medulla. Okay, so this is your medulla. Which part of medulla? The upper part of medulla, upper medulla. Okay, already I told that the fourth ventricle, is nothing but, the fourth ventricle is nothing but the fourth ventricle is nothing but a CSF filled cavity, CSF filled cavity within your pons and medulla. So this much portion is your lower pons. This much portion is your lower pons, okay, and this blue colored area, this is your upper medulla oblongata. I am writing MO, okay. Now this is actually the fourth ventricle. Now this fourth ventricle, this is its superior lateral boundary. Its superior lateral boundary is your superior cerebellar peduncle. You can see here the superior cerebellar peduncle. This is the superior cerebellar peduncle. This superior cerebellar peduncle is the superior lateral boundary of your fourth ventricle. Now you can see one midline. You can see here one midline. Here you can see one midline. This much. This one I am marking with black. So this midline sulcus is called your median sulcus. This midline sulcus medially located, this is called your median sulcus. In I am writing median sulcus. Actually in this diagram we are discussing the floor of fourth ventricle, okay. Later on I will talk about everything, roof, the others boundary and clinicals of fourth ventricle. So first discuss about the floor, okay, which is much important. So this is median sulcus, and this median sulcus is dividing your fourth ventricle into one right and one left half, okay, all right. And there is also another horizontal sulcus which is called your stria medullaris. This is nothing but a stria. This is a white fiber bands, okay. This is also called the stria. So this stria I am marking with red. You can see here this is the red highlighted. I am marking, or I highlight this portion with red. This is called your stria medullaris. Actually this stria or this striatum, okay, they are pointed towards medulla. You can see the lowermost medulla blue colored and the uppermost pons, okay, yellow colored. Now this stria is pointed towards the medulla. That's why this stria, the white fibrous band, is called your stria medullaris. I am writing stria medullaris SM, okay. This is your stria medullaris, and this stria medullaris is actually the demarcating, or actually the it is actually separating the pons, this one, the uppermost lower pons and the lowermost upper medulla, okay. So this stria medullaris, the white fibrous band, is demarcating in between, its demarks in between the pons and the medulla, all right. Now come to the inferolateral boundary of your fourth ventricle. So here you can see in this inferolateral boundary, here you can see the inferolateral boundary, this elevation one elevation, okay. So here you can see one elevation G, that is gracilis elevation, okay, gracilis elevation, and one C elevation, that is cuneatus elevation or cuneatus tubercle. So most medially your gracilis tubercle, then lateral to gracilis tubercle is your cuneatus tubercle, okay. And most laterally what present? Most laterally is your inferior cerebellar peduncle present. Inferior cerebellar peduncle, this much, this one is your inferior cerebellar peduncle. This one I am marking with blue. This is your inferior cerebellar peduncle. So the superior lateral boundary is only formed by your superior cerebellar peduncle, okay, the superior cerebellar peduncle. But your inferior lateral boundary is not only formed by your inferior cerebellar peduncle. This is also formed by your gracilis tubercle, okay. This one, this much gracilis tubercle. Here you can see this is the gracilis tubercle. I am highlighting with this color violet. So this is gracilis tubercle, both side, this one also. And lateral to this gracilis tubercle you can see the cuneate tubercle. Yes, this is the cuneate tubercle, all right. And lateral to this cuneate tubercle you can see one other peduncle. This is your nothing but inferior cerebellar peduncle, which is attached cerebellum with inferiorly with brainstem. All right. So these all are the your inferior lateral boundary, and this superior cerebellar peduncle is your superior lateral boundary. All right. And now here you can see the medial cerebellar peduncle. Okay. So where it is the medial cerebellar peduncle, this is the middle cerebellar peduncle, not medial. This is middle cerebellar peduncle, middle cerebellar peduncle. This is also one your middle cerebellar peduncle. All right. So that's the basic intro, the basic boundary, that's the basic boundary or basic intro of your fourth ventricle. All right. So basic organization of your fourth ventricle. Now let's talk about the floor. What is actually present in the floor of the fourth ventricle? Okay, so you can see I'm going to and then later on I will draw the schematic representation of this also. So first let's talk about the contents with those who are present on the floor of fourth ventricle. All right. So now this phase diagram, once again this phase diagram. So in this phase diagram I am writing once again. In this phase diagram you can see here the superior cerebellar peduncle. Where it is the superior cerebellar peduncle? Yes, the superior cerebellar peduncle. Where are you? Here is this your this is your superior cerebellar peduncle. All right. Superior cerebellar peduncle. Okay, superior cerebellar peduncle is forming your superolateral boundary of fourth ventricle. Okay, superolateral boundary of your fourth ventricle. So I am marking the fourth ventricle like this. You can see your fourth ventricle. It looks like the nip of the fountain pen. That's why this is also called your what? Calamitous scriptorius. Okay, this is also called the floor of fourth ventricle. This is also called the diamond shaped fossa. This is also called diamond shape. This is also called the diamond shaped fossa, or this is also called rhomboid fossa. Okay. So because of its structures. Okay, and you can see the upper portion. The upper portion is your what? The upper portion is your pons. This much above the. This is what? This is some white stria pointed towards medulla. That's why this is called your stria medullaris. Okay. So this is your stria medullaris. You can see here. This is your stria medullaris pointed towards medulla, and lower. This is your medulla oblongata. This lower medulla oblongata, below stria, and above stria it is your pons. Which pons? Lower pons, not upper pons. This is your lower pons. All right. Now once again I am summarizing this lower inferior lateral boundary. What is this? Most lateral is your inferior cerebellar peduncle. Most lateral is your inferior cerebellar peduncle, and then medial to this is your cuneatus tubercle. Medial to this is your C for cuneatus tubercle, this C, and then medial most is your gracilis tubercle. So one gracilis tubercle. Okay, next one gracilis tubercle, two cuneatus tubercle or cuneate tubercle, and third is your inferior cerebellar peduncle. Actually they are forming the inferolateral boundary of your fourth ventricle. All right. So now you can see where is the middle cerebellar peduncle. Middle cerebellar peduncle is actually here. This is the cut section. Actually the cerebellar peduncles are cut and your cerebellum is removed. Then you can see the fourth ventricle clearly. Okay. Now the structures. Okay, now the structures. Here you can see in this diagram. So now you can see here the structures. So first, what is this? This is the median sulcus. This is the median sulcus. Okay, so this is the median sulcus, and this median sulcus is dividing the fourth ventricle into one right larger triangle, okay, and one left larger triangle. All right, so this is the median sulcus, and just lateral to this median sulcus, just lateral to this median sulcus, just lateral to this median sulcus, it is your median colliculus. Just lateral to your median sulcus is your median colliculus. This elevated portions, this is called median colliculus. All right, and on this medial colliculus one important structure is present. On this median colliculus one important structure is present. What is the structures? This is nothing but your facial colliculus. These structures, this is your facial colliculus, and this is also is your facial colliculus. Now what is facial colliculus? All right, what is facial colliculus? Facial colliculus, this is nothing but the internal genu. This is formed by, actually this facial colliculus is formed by your facial nerve fibers. Facial nerve fibers. Okay, so your facial nerve fibers actually forming an arch when your facial nerve fibers, this is your sixth nerve nucleus. All right, and this is your seventh nerve nucleus. Your seventh nerve nucleus or facial nerve, when it's arching around the sixth nerve nucleus, this arch, during this arch formation, okay, during this arch formation, one elevated portion is formed on the floor of your fourth ventricle, and this elevated portion is due to what? This elevation is due to what? This is due to the nerve fibers of seventh cranial nerve nucleus. This is due to nerve fibers of the seventh cranial nerve nucleus, and this is called your facial colliculus. So the facial colliculus is formed by the nerve fibers of seventh nerve, but deep to the facial colliculus, which structure is present deep to the facial colliculus? First, the nerve, you can see the fibers arching around the sixth nerve nucleus present, and then deep to it is your sixth nerve nucleus is present. Okay, so first damage to this facial colliculus, clinical aspects. Okay, first damage to this facial colliculus. First damage what? First damage the sixth nerve nucleus. Okay, first damage it the sixth nerve, not the sixth nerve nucleus. First it damage the fibers of the seventh nerve. Okay, and then it damage the sixth nerve nucleus. So fibers of the first most prominent damage, what most prominently damaged, which structure is first damaged, or which structure is first injured? This is your arch of seventh nerve. Okay, around sixth nerve. So first seventh nerve is injured, and then the sixth nerve nucleus is injured. Okay, so this is your facial colliculus. Okay, I will tell all about facial colliculus etc detail in lateral diagram. And now you can see lateral to this facial colliculus, you can see lateral to this facial colliculus one triangular area lateral to this facial colliculus. This triangular area is extending from pons to medulla. Okay, not only in pons, this triangular area is extending from pons to medulla, and this triangular area is called what? This triangular area is called your vestibular area. This triangular area is called your vestibular area. Now why this is called your vestibular area? Because it's very simple. Your vestibular nerve nucleus, okay, this is present in this area. That's why this is called your vestibular area. And any injury to this vestibular area, causing what? Causing vertigo, okay, or imbalance. Okay, so actually in various kinds of brainstem lesion, if this is your lateral brainstem lesion, okay, lateral brainstem lesion, in lateral brainstem lesion, which part of the fourth ventricle is compromised? This is your vestibular area is compromised. Okay, and if it is the medial brainstem lesion, which part of your fourth ventricle is compromised? This is your facial colliculus will compromised. Okay, all right. So that's why in lateral medullary syndrome or Wallenberg syndrome, okay, your vestibular area is compromised in fourth ventricle. Okay, similarly in medial medullary syndrome, okay, your medial medullary syndrome, if there your facial colliculus may compromised, or there is your hypoglossal triangle may compromised. You can see here, now come to the medulla portion. So uppermost area it was your pons portion. Okay, now come to the medulla. In this medulla you can see one further triangular area here. You can see one triangle I am marking with orange. This triangular area is called your hypoglossal triangle. So most medially your hypoglossal triangle. And now I am erasing from this diagram everything. I am erasing everything. Okay, so after erasing you can see the face diagram once again, and in this face diagram you can see this is your median sulcus. Okay, this is your median sulcus, and lateral to median sulcus which present your facial colliculus present. Don't worry, facial colliculus present. Okay, and then lateral to this one another sulcus is present. This sulcus is called your this sulcus is called your sulcus limitans. This sulcus is called sulcus limitans. You can see here this sulcus is called sulcus limitans, and this sulcus limitans below the stria medullaris. Here is the stria medullaris. Below the stria medullaris, this sulcus limitans merged or fused with the median sulcus. Okay, and forming two triangles in medulla region. This is below this portion is medulla and this portion is pons. I previously also told you. So okay, so in medulla region it forming two triangles. Okay, one triangle is this one triangle yellow colored, and this is another triangle, and these two triangles are called your hypoglossal triangle. Why? Because this one triangle and this is another triangle of both sides. Okay, this is called your hypoglossal triangle. Why? Now within this triangle the hypoglossal nerve nucleus is present. So hypoglossal nerve nucleus is present within this triangle and produce little elevation. Okay, and lateral to this hypoglossal triangle you can see below another two triangles. Okay, you can see another two triangles below. I am marking with red, highlighting with red, this one and this one. These two triangles are vagal triangle. Because why this is self-explanatory, because the vagal nerve nucleus is present. Okay, that's why this is called your vagal triangle. Sorry. And the lateral most structures, previously also I told you, the lateral most structures you can see which is extending from pons to medulla. This is the lateral most structures. This is nothing but your vestibular area. All right, so now you can see in medial medullary syndrome, which part here the floor of fourth ventricle is compromised. Can you tell me which part is compromised here? Okay, in medial medullary syndrome the hypoglossal triangle or hypoglossal nucleus is compromised. If hypoglossal nucleus is compromised, what is its clinical representation? Your tongue muscle palsy. All right, tongue muscle palsy, because the tongue muscles are supplied by the fibers of hypoglossals. Okay, so that's why if hypoglossal triangle is damaged in medial medullary syndrome, then what's happened? The tongue muscle palsy, the clinical representation. And in lateral medullary syndrome, you can see in lateral medullary syndrome, this is the vestibular area. The ischemia or any damage to the vestibular area or in lateral medullary syndrome like Wallenberg syndrome. Okay, you can see the vertigo. Clinical representation is vertigo because the vestibular area is damaged, the vestibular nerve nucleus is damaged. Okay, so this is some clinical cases which I discussed. Now next session I will talk about I'll draw this diagram and schematically, and once again I will repeat all the things. Okay, and in schematic representation for more better clearance.